The emergency broadcast system is active. This is not a test. Please stay tuned for information and instructions concerning this emergency. Hurricane Bob has made its way up the Atlantic Ocean and through parts of New England. Hurricane Bob came ashore on the Outer Banks of Virginia as a Category 1 storm. Although meteorologists and other experts expect New York City to receive most of the damage, unfortunately, the concentration of the damage is in our area, which is the entire state of Vermont. At 3 p.m. on 10/28, the governor issued a mandatory evacuation for the lower-lying areas of the state, as well as all persons who were in medical facilities. This includes home health agencies, hospices, skilled nursing facilities, as well as rehab facilities. These persons were evacuated to neighboring regions, and their locations can be obtained from the Red Cross. Throughout the night, we experienced torrential rains, and as a consequence of rising tides and massive rainfalls, uncontrollable flooding has occurred throughout the state. Many of you awoke to find water in your homes, forcing you to find higher ground. As a result, at 8 a.m., 10/29/2014, the governor declared a state of emergency and mandatory evacuation of the entire state. This action mobilized federal response at 9 a.m. on 10/29/2014, the president declared Vermont as a natural disaster area, and national focus is now concentrated in this area. This hurricane has dumped a tremendous amount of rain in our area, which has caused extensive flooding, affecting all areas of the state. The riverbanks have overflowed, and the floodwaters have washed away roads, highways, and bridges in every part of the state. This leaves countless communities to fend for themselves until help arrives. Through the nighttime hours, residents were advised to move to official shelters. Evacuation for all medical treatment facilities, businesses, and government agencies within the state were initiated, and they have been moved, and residents, have been evacuated and have been moved to neighboring areas outside of those affected regions. All evacuees are receiving a health assessment to determine what site the evacuee will be sent to. The Red Cross is working in conjunction with the DHHS and CDC to compile a database of all evacuees who have received a health assessment and/or medical treatment. Information on these evacuees have been gathered by the Red Cross, and you may contact them via email at www.vtredcross.com. For more information concerning your loved ones, you can contact via email at www.vtredcross.com. You will need the person's name, date of birth, and residence at the time of the disaster to obtain information on their location and status. FEMA has mobilized a response team. Federal aid and federal workers are here to coordinate rescue and evacuation efforts throughout the state. The state will be working with FEMA to coordinate relief in the form of evacuation and supplies. The National Guard has been activated, and they, in conjunction with volunteers and state and local officials, are conducting a door-to-door search for all survivors. All persons rescued will obtain a health assessment and/or treatment and then forwarded to an evacuation site. The entire state is without electricity, gas, and clean water. Please do not consume water from the tap or use it in any way until advised it is safe to do so. We ask that even if you are in an area where floodwaters have begun to recede, not to attempt to use any devices to generate electrical power due to substantial damage to power grids and power lines throughout the state. Please treat any downed power lines as active as live, active electrical currents and observe precaution if coming into contact with such devices. For your safety, please try and remain calm. Avoid physical contact with flood waters. Please do not attempt to swim or walk in the flood waters due to hazardous conditions. If you are somewhere relatively safe, please remain there. Help is on the way. Shelters have been established, and any residents that are still in their homes will be evacuated to these sites prior to being moved to neighboring areas that have established shelters to aid us in this time of need. Although rescuers are conducting a systematic door-to-door search for evacuees, residents who are trapped inside homes or in neighborhoods are asked to safely seek the highest and most accessible area where you are and try to remain visible so rescuers can identify and remove you to safety as soon as possible. Again, conditions are very hazardous. Therefore, residents are advised not to try and travel. And if you are somewhere safe, remain there and rescuers will find you and bring you to safety. Driving is not an option, and neither is walking or swimming because of the debris and hazardous conditions in the flood waters. So again, although you may be afraid and feeling anxious, and although waters may have receded from your area, please be advised that residents need to stay where you are if you are in a safe area and wait for federal, state, or local teams to come and assist via boat to remove you safely to a shelter. The following will help you remain safe until help arrives. Stay hydrated using bottled water. Do not attempt to drive, swim, or walk through flood waters because they are not safe. Help is on the way in the form of volunteers, FEMA workers, state and local workers as well. Beware of power lines. Treat them as if they were live because they can be. Do not drink or use the water if not from bottles. Stay safe and stay put. Help is on the way. If you are searching for a loved one in the affected region, please contact the Red Cross at www.vtredcross.com. Please email the full name, date of birth, and address at the time of this disaster for information. If you are interested in sending assistance, please submit through your local Red Cross and advise them that it is for the Vermont disaster or visit helpvermont.com. .gov. If you are interested in volunteering for cleanup and or search and rescue efforts, please contact www.serve.gov. Please do not send supplies or come directly to this disaster area and coordinate with the proper authorities so that your help will reach those in need properly and timely. Please stay tuned to this station for updates on the status of this disaster. Thank you.